Bitcoin has gone up every year if you're using a 3-year moving average. And I think it's just becoming undeniable that it is a force that especially now that institutions have to consider it as a new asset class because
Bitcoin Zella stands out with its simplicity and clarity. We've crafted an experience that anyone can dive into, whether you're a crypto expert or just a new to the crypto world. Now guess who keeps his eye on us? The author of best-selling book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And we want to take this opportunity and thank all the people who trusted us, and we read every comment. And the best part, it's free. Subscribing now means you will get all new information for free. Don't just follow the trends, stay ahead of them. Subscribe to Bitcoin Zella today and enjoy the new edge. Cathie Wood reveals institutions going all in on Bitcoin. We'll explore Cathie Wood's investment vision, her confidence in disruptive innovation, and how crypto shapes finance. Tune in now to learn more.
Bitcoin ringing the bell for a new asset class. We showed the correlations of returns. The correlations still, even though traditional investors are getting involved, the correlations with other assets still very low. It's absolutely essential that institutional asset allocators take a look at this asset. If they don't, they're not doing their fiduciary responsibility. So we're trying to help ease them, provide a bridge. Okay, we're talking your language. Bitcoin is not only a technology, it's not only one of the biggest ideas ever, the global monetary system, rules-based, digital, private, all of that. But it is a new asset class. And when you present investors with those three and they're not knowledgeable enough, it's a little bit threatening or they feel a bit vulnerable. So we are trying to bridge in with, okay, we're going to talk your language. You need to look at this new asset class.
Investors are swiftly reducing exposure to risk assets as JP Morgan pushes recession odds from 30% to 40%. The S&P 500, NASDAQ, and Dow Jones Industrial Average all suffered steep drops, reflecting heightened anxiety about the economy's future trajectory. Worries persist even though some White House officials try to temper those concerns, pointing to pockets of resilience in growth indicators. Analysts at Goldman Sachs echoed these warnings by raising their own recession probability to 20%, while Morgan Stanley downgraded its economic growth outlook and boosted inflation estimates. Despite optimistic remarks from key officials, such as National Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett, sentiment remains fragile. Donald Trump, describing recent shifts as a period of transition, tried to reassure Americans of a brighter economic future. Crypto and tech stocks did not escape the turmoil, losing billions in market cap. Tesla plunged 15%, while Bitcoin briefly sank 4% to levels unseen since early November.
And if we have a world, which we believe we've entered, where 5 major innovation platforms involving 15 technologies are converging and disrupting the entire traditional world order. Well, what in that world? Now, I'm very confident in our research and in our projections, but if I'm someone who doesn't do what I do all day long, and I'm studying all the ways to hedge against, all the uncertainties out there, ground shifting underneath us technologically, geopolitically, what is the one thing I am certain about? I am certain about 21 million units. I am certain about that. And there have been, for those of you, I don't know if we have an economics-oriented audience here, but Art Laffer actually helped us write that first white paper on Bitcoin. And he said, after he agreed to collaborate with us, and he said, this is what I have been waiting for since the U.S. closed the gold window in 1971. He's been waiting. He's 84 85 now, I think. This has rejuvenated him. And he's proselytizing to the rest of the world, El Salvador, Suriname, he was in Argentina. And he's beginning to help them understand how important this source of certainty will be to them. And, one of the biggest things that has surprised us, when we were brainstorming about Bitcoin in the early days of ARK, our working assumption was that the early government adopters of Bitcoin would be in the emerging markets because they live in such a chaotic world that is, they are battered every now and then by the dollar's appreciation, and which, they've got a lot of dollar-denominated debt. They run their countries on their own currency, and they're losing out constantly. So I've been very surprised that the U.S. really, yes, El Salvador was there, but the U.S. is leading the charge here, and I think it's going to serve us very well over time.
I want to talk about the economy moving forward over the next year, 2 years, 3 years, because I think that's going to have a very big impact on Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. Let's start with Doge. Mm-hmm. They say they're slashing costs. Every day they're tweeting some ridiculous use of taxpayer money. What is your confidence level in their ability to be successful? But also, how do you think that affects financial markets? So much of asset prices going up has been that the government is incredibly bad at their job and they waste a lot of money. So we devalue the dollar and asset prices go up. But if Doge is successful, does that actually hurt asset prices?
Oh, no. I actually think this is... I started in the business, I was in college in the late 70s, but really here in New York in the early 80s. And it was the Reagan Revolution. And he was changing. The 70s were just a horrible decade. And so there was a similar kind of an election and a willingness to change.
Bitcoin soared 4%, recovering from its plunge to a 4-month low, as U.S. stocks hinted at a possible reprieve from their severe downward spiral. Futures for the S&P 500 and NASDAQ rose slightly, offering a glimmer of hope after both indices faced steep declines in the previous trading session. Amid widespread recession concerns, many investors had rushed to reduce their exposure to risk assets, sending Bitcoin and stocks tumbling. Observing these movements, some market experts sensed the start of a potential short squeeze. The Kobayashi letter, reflecting on the extreme levels of fear influencing trading decisions, highlighted that even dedicated bears might acknowledge the possibility of relief rallies. Markets rarely drop in a straight line, and historically, sharp rebounds often follow intense sell-offs. Signs of elevated volatility further add to the speculation that a bottom could be near. The VNX, a key barometer for investor anxiety, recently registered at levels typically associated with turning points. According to one measure, there could be an 89% probability that the worst of the downturn has passed. Bitcoin's near-term technical signals also point toward a short-lived bounce. Some analysts note bullish divergences on lower timeframes, suggesting that a brief rally could emerge. However, bearish commentators warn that a sustained upswing could remain elusive in a persistently challenging economic environment. They emphasize that recessionary pressures affect multiple markets, not just cryptocurrencies. Whether Bitcoin can break free from this broader malaise remains to be seen, but its recent rebound offers a glimmer of optimism for traders. And do not forget to subscribe to Bitcoin Seller. The most important news will reach your inbox on a daily basis and for free. I do not know why you have not subscribed yet. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more daily updates. Remember, knowledge is power, and we're here to empower you on your financial journey. Until next time, happy investing.